this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Just got back from the chiropractor and there's some stuff that I can't do anymore for a while. I've got a list. I've got homework to do as well, some of which can be done and some of which probably won't get done so easily. Basically, certainly for the near future, I must stop sitting in my computer chair for any length of time, especially leaning on one arm and letting the cat go to sleep on it, because I'm getting lopsided, and as a consequence one side of me is working harder than the other side and causing frictions between the two. So I'm basically been told I should not sit for more than 20 minutes without getting up and at least walking around the room a couple of times. Now that puts pay to my morning work, doesn't it, where I get all my computer stuff done in one go, interrupted by a coffee now and again, but those are long periods of sitting in the same place. That's got to stop. I've got to try and stay out of my comfy chair, because she said basically when you sit for any length of time, if your knees are higher than they should be, you know, in other words, your knees are just too high because the seat's too low, that causes more pressure on your back than anything else. So the comfy chair's out. That's going to be good, isn't it? But I can use my computer chair. It's on wheels. I can watch telly from there. But again, you know, I'm not to stay in the chair for any length of time. And if I need to drive for a long way, I need to take breaks. Just get out the car and have a walk round. So I've got to stop sitting for any length of time in one go. So the amount of sitting during the day doesn't need to change. It just needs to be spread out a bit. So that's what I've got to do. The other thing I'm supposed to do, no heat, but try and apply an ice pack to the small of my back. Every 20 minutes, yeah, like that's going to happen. That's the bit that probably won't get done. I'll try and do it when I can. You know, she said, have you got a bag of frozen peas? Just wrap that in a tea towel and, you know, sit in a chair leaning against it for 20 minutes. And I explained that if I then put the peas back in the freezer, they're not going to freeze again in the 20 minutes, you know. So that's not that practical, but I'll see what I can do. Yeah, I'm slightly twisted, and she said it looks like your posture when you're sitting is wrong. And you know, like when I thought about it, I'm often leaning to one side when I'm sitting. Yeah, I need to straighten up in my chair and not stay in it for so long. And I asked about the work that I do in here. Now, anything I do from this level upwards, including anything above my head, is fine, because the type of movement to get these down and put them back up is actually useful movement. However, getting that lot off their shelves and putting them back again at the moment is a no-no. So the sprayer will just have to come into its own, and any that get sprayed because I haven't picked them up and looked at them that are still wet, well, if they die, they die. It's more important that I don't. So yeah, I got some orders. I got bent and squashed and prodded and all sorts of things like that. And we've identified I haven't got a lower back problem. It's the two other areas of my back that are causing the lower back to lock up in sympathy, basically. So there's three areas of my back that need some work, some of which has already been started. I've got to go, she said, you'll need 2 more appointments, and I want them quite close together, so that, you know, but not too close together as, you know, you need to settle down between each one. She said, can you come on Saturday? And of course, when you're retired, you sort of think, well, all the days are the same, it doesn't matter to me. So I said, yeah, that's okay, yeah, I can do Saturday. And then when I got out to reception, I thought, Ah, it's our Christmas do on Saturday. No, I can't do Saturday. And I can't do the following Saturday because that's the other Orchid Society's Christmas do. So we've had to play around with the, so at the moment I've got to go Thursday evening, but that's what the receptionist thought. The person I've got to see has got to agree to that because that could be too close to today to be of any use, in which case it'll have to be next week. And the second appointment was the Wednesday next week. Well, if I have to move to Monday for the second appointment, the third one, Wednesday, will be too close, so that'll have to move as well. So we'll see what we can do. I won't say I feel any better, but she said you won't immediately, but you should find that over the next day or two you will loosen up a lot faster first thing in the morning, because my back's at its worst first thing in the morning, when it's gone to sleep overnight basically, needs to wake up and get some movement. So she said, for goodness sake, don't stay still for any length of time, for the first few hours. Those are the important hours to keep mobile, and you'll loosen up, and then the rest of the day will be more comfortable. So I got my orders. Bossed around at my age, not used to it. But if it's for my own good. Couple of things. The Tahitian dancer has started to open. These aren't fully open yet, so it's not worth trying to have a good look at them yet, but over the next couple of days they will be. And my twinkle up there, the Red Fantasy, that's opening a few more blooms. It'll soon be time to get that down, in a place where we can see it all the time. There isn't much else going on. And I thought, well, I only went round with the sprayer a couple of days ago. I won't do that today. I watered all the mounts yesterday. They're fine. I had to look at the Holey Clay Pots, and they haven't been done for, this is the 7th day, so I'm going to do them now. And luckily we're in a good place with the Holey Clay Pots. Look where they are. We got a spread of them here. And there's 3 down on that shelf, 2 of which are going in the bin. So if I can get them out today, then I don't need to put them back. And that one over there, and there's one up on here that's going to go as well. And if I take that out of the lot today, then that one that's down there can come up here. And then I haven't got any Holey Clay Pots on lower shelves, because they come round quicker. And when they get watered, they really do need a proper watering. The sprayer just doesn't do the job properly with those. I mean, a lot of these have got buds on and you're pushing up new growths, so I don't want to neglect them. And then we'll see where we go from there. And it's going to be a while before I chuck out the pots to go, simply because I'm not supposed to bend down. I've got to try and avoid that if I possibly can. And most of those are in a place where I'd have to bend right down to get them. So they can just wait until such times as I water them properly. And the first time I get these pots out to water them properly, those that are getting dumped don't go back. They just get that one off. And I've just noticed some blooms. I'll put the camera down because I'm going to have to stretch and I want to hold on to something. Yes, this little one objected to being repotted for a while and sulked, but this is the Siku Marguerite, and it's Cheyenne Sea Glory, and it's a pretty little bloom, but it's not a fully formed spike, because it should have pushed farther up than that, and there's only a couple of blooms on it, but at least we get to see them. The other new growths on this are still coming on. As I say, this one stalled, it objected to repotting. The other new growths may not even produce spikes this time, but we're greening up from our yellowness, and we have got some reasonable leaves in places. We've got a couple that are falling off with a bit of help. Tidies the plant up, doesn't it? And that's an old bulb, because that leaf I've just pulled off was hiding an old flower spike. But yeah, they are pretty little blooms on that one. That was the one my daughter got me, I think, at Rithlington, I believe. So anyway, that can stay down. Now I've dragged it out, that can stay there. But as I say, it's not a fully formed spike on that one. The other twinkles are starting to get some colour in places, so you can see we're colouring up here. So I'm reasonably certain this one's going to be the cinnamon one, and it looks like this one might be as well. I thought I had one in a pot and one on a mount. Maybe I mounted both of them, I don't know. But they'll open eventually. And that one up there I'm pretty confident is a piece of the yellow one. The rest of that is in a pot. So yeah, so my workload out here goes right down on the grounds I've got medical permission not to do stuff. Obviously I will get back to this, but I'm just going to have to take care, you know, and follow the instructions as best I can, and we'll see where we go from there. But the thing is, my daughter's down at the weekend. Now I'm going to get her on Friday, as far as I know, she's going to cut my hair Friday evening, so that I look a bit more respectable for the Christmas do on Saturday. And the Christmas do on Saturday is just going to take up most of the day, you know, getting ready in the morning, going to it, getting home, you know, having a meal. Won't be much of one because we'll have just had a Christmas lunch, but that'll be that day done really. But she won't be going back till Sunday evening. During Sunday, I'm hoping that we can just sort out these plants that need to be thrown away. And it's just basically a matter of she can get the plants off the shelves that they're on and move stuff out the way if necessary, and just get them in on the dining room table. I mean, I can sort out, you know, emptying them into the compost bin and cleaning the pots up at my leisure. It's just getting them off those low shelves, because a lot of them are on the low shelves. And then those to go to other people, and the ones I'm keeping will be what's left. So we'll work on it like that. And yeah, I don't want to make this a long video. That's another thing is, yeah, I could actually blame this whole back problem on YouTube. It's YouTube's fault. It's all you lot's fault. It's all your fault. No, it's my fault for not thinking about what I'm doing. But a lot of what I'm doing wrong is to do with the YouTube channel and obviously the orchids. They're inherently linked, aren't they? You know, wouldn't be much of an orchid channel if I didn't have any orchids, would it? But yeah, you know, the use of my computer chair needs to be adjusted dramatically, and just break up the day more and move, you know. Standing still for any length of time is not advised. Well, I don't do that. I'm usually either on the move. You know, if I'm out here doing stuff and watering stuff, I'm moving, I'm turning, you know, but I've just got to avoid the bending, but I'm okay with stretching upwards. That's useful movement, I'm told. So, you know, everything from waist height upwards is okay to play around with. And below that, it'll just have to stay there for now, and I'll have to just use the sprayer. Means I don't get to see the plants. That's the bit I don't like. I don't get to pick them up. You know, I could have a real scale outbreak on a plant and not know, and it could get really out of hand and could even take the plant down, and I won't know because I'm not getting that little inspection each day. So be it. You know, I'm more important than the plants at the moment, and when somebody who knows what they're doing tells you what you're doing wrong, the idea is you stop doing it. And then the idea is things get better and perhaps we avoid this problem ever again. So we'll see how we go. Right, I need some food now. And I'll leave it at that. I don't want to waffle on too long, but I thought I'd let you know, because the videos I've been posting recently are from quite a while ago. I haven't actually filmed for a while. Even Sunday morning chat was done on Saturday. So anyway, I will see you next time with updates on... We got some new blooms to come soon, so we have got some things going on. And we'll go from there. And at least I know now that the things I have to water most frequently, the mounts, I can do. And it's actual useful movement. So pleased about that. And we'll work on the other stuff as and when. See you next time then. Bye for now. Oh, and the first Holey Clay pot I picked up, look what's happened to these spikes since I last looked at this. These are pushed on well. This is the Make, and there's quite a few pushing up. That's 2. Are there any more? There's another one here. 3. Got a feeling last time we looked, there's another one here. 4. So at least 4. I'm not going to spend too much time going over it, but there's at least 4 on there, and there's some growths that are still maturing that are possibly going to follow on. But yeah, we've got 4, and that first one we looked at, I mean, that's got 5 buds on if they all make it. So that's going to be a really nice looking spike. So as I said, in amongst the Cattleya stuff, there's things going on, but yeah. So I don't know how long that's quite a way off blooming yet, but you know, it's nice to know things to come. It's just nice, and this is, out of the Cattleya type blooms, this is one of my favourites. It's a real colour changer, and they last absolutely ages, which is unusual in the Cattleya Alliance to get really long lasting blooms, but this, you know, this is quite a little performer, this one. So coming soon. That was a good little watering session. My Encyclia cordidera, I put everything back before I thought to pick the camera up again. That's got 3 spikes at least. My apple blossom, oh, I can't get at it. That's got a good sheath in it, so that's definitely going to bloom. There's a tall sheath up the back there against the glass, pale colour. You might not be able to see it. The shadow of the buds has already formed in there. So out of 4 on there, 3 are going to bloom. And up here, the only thing really that isn't either in bloom or got buds on is that flipping purpurata. But it's got 2 new growths, so working on it. And then down here, I didn't even bother getting the ones that are going to be thrown away off the shelf, so I only had that one to water down there. And that bloomed on its latest growth. That's that sawn off sheath, and it still hasn't started a new growth yet. So that's, I think it's a species, I've forgotten what. I think it's just one of those that after it blooms it just rests and then chucks out another growth maybe later, sometime, perhaps. I don't know. Yeah. So that was quite a good session, because I mean the Laelia anceps, we know that's got 2 spikes that eventually will bloom. I'm not going to hold my breath, but you know, sometime down the line. So that was a good little session. The Cattleyas are coming on nicely. There's new growths and sheaths with buds and spikes forming in quite a few places, given the number of plants. There aren't many of them that aren't doing anything. So that was a good little session. I enjoyed that. And no bending. Literally, normally, what I do with this shelf is I clear the whole shelf off, which means putting some on the floor. Well, I just did them in sections. So I did like those 3, and then put them, you know, that bit, and then put them back, and then did those and put them back, so nothing went on the floor. But I have just realised a serious problem. I've got 5 litres of water left. I don't know how long that's going to last. And setting up the RO unit and using the Vander bucket to collect the water in is currently a no-no, because there's no way I'm lifting that. I think what I'm going to do is, if I water the Vanders, there's no feed in there at the moment. Last time the Vanders went in there, that was just a flush wash, you know, a wash off basically, clean the roots off type watering. So there shouldn't be much in that water, if anything. So I think what I'm going to do is the Vanders are going to go in there tomorrow, and then they're just going to have to wait after that and perhaps just spray them, and then use that water for the rest of the orchids until it's virtually empty. And when it's virtually empty, I can lift it. And then I'll sort something out with the RO unit, because normally that goes on the floor and the RO unit pours into it. And I think I might actually put that on the bench and the RO unit higher up on the windowsill. I'll sort something out. But there's no way I'm lifting that full of water. So if the worst comes to the worst, I'll have to let the water go into a much smaller thing that I can pick up, and then bring it in a bit at a time. As I say, there's no way I should be lifting something like that. I can, but at the moment obviously it would be silly, so you know, I just won't. So somebody has stolen my chair. So as for sitting in the chair for long periods, well, I can't even sit in it at all at the moment, so I'm going to have to get a dining room chair to go and do this video, and it won't be far off thinking about getting something to eat then. I decided not to have lunch because it was so late and it would have messed up tea time, so I'm just going to have a bigger tea instead. And that's the other thing I'm not allowed to do. I can't settle down in the comfy chair and doze off in the evening. That's an absolute no-no. She said, if you think you're going to go to sleep, then go to bed. Do it properly. Don't slouch in a low-down chair and go to sleep, because that's probably the most harmful thing I've been doing, because the way your weight loads your back at that angle is the worst thing. So no dozing off in the chair. Dog's life, isn't it?